Hello and welcome to Upload,
a podcast by those who upload for those who want to.
or who already do.
And anyone else for that matter.
My name is Lionheart and I've been creating content for over a decade.
And my name's Midge and I've been trying to create content for almost a decade.
Together with some of our friends and fellow content creators, we're going to be exploring the great big world of content creation.
We'll be looking into the serious topics that face content creators today.
Because if someone said that to me like in person, or said that kind of stuff to me, you know, IRL, I wouldn't take it. So why would I take it like online? Why would I hide aspects of sort of my identity?
As well as some less serious topics.
I've been blindsided by the fact that one of your old live streams is called Suck My Missile for like the last
Sorry,
10
what?
minutes.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Upload.
Hello and welcome to Upload, the content creation podcast for those who upload, those who want to, and anyone else for that matter. My name is Midgeman.
And I'm Lionheart.
But before we get on with today's episode, of course, please remember to rate, like, subscribe, share, do all the things that you can to help this podcast grow. And if you want to get in contact with this podcast, you can do so via our YouTube
He's having a cracker.
I'm having an awful one now. You can do so via our YouTube comments, our Spotify comments, or more importantly, going to our email directly, hello@uploadpodcast.co.uk. And yeah, right, Lionheart.
Do the things.
Do the things. Let's talk some tech. We teased it last time. There's been so many industry updates that we got on a massive tangent about multi-streaming, but there's been some really cool things. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is CPUs, because that's a big thing when you're streaming. GPU or CPU streaming, there's, a debate on which one's better depending on your system. It's going to be different things. But apparently there was a Windows problem holding back Ryzen CPUs all the way back to the 5000 series. And I have a 5000 series CPU and I have noticed marginal improvements. But yeah, it was like, I as an industry, like to realize that. But I'm glad they've updated it. But it's also one of those things of the fact that we've all been creaming over Ryzen CPUs for a little while and they haven't been working at peak efficiency is kind of funny.
It basically kind of goes to show, like, Intel isn't the only one that can have issues with CPUs and everything else. I think, in fact, there was a report came out recently that said inherently AMD CPUs have roughly the same kind of ballpark of chance to degrade as Intel ones. Okay, Intel's are intensified right now because of the BIOS and the power limits not being set right by default. And obviously that should have never happened, and that is Intel's fault. But it's like, this isn't a uniquely Intel thing. It does happen with AMD CPUs. It has happened in the past. They've had a fairly solid record though with their Ryzen lineup since they released them in 2015, 2016. It's been a huge point of resurgence for AMD as a company. Like, Ryzen was their golden goose and continues to be. So like they're doing so well. Even they can't escape potential software conflicts that have hamstrung them. I think they've also released a dedicated tool for performance tweaking and monitoring now, or something like that, or something that you can unlock your system. And I think it's meant to be akin to Intel's extreme tuning software, which just gives you more control. But obviously, please do it within the safe limits, because otherwise we'll be facing similar issues like you do with Intel. Like, don't. I mean, these days there's really not much need to overclock manually unless you're going for some kind of world record and you've got liquid nitrogen on hand. You don't need to push it. Like, I feel like if you're pushing it to a point where you're risking instability in your system, but you still need to gain more FPS, you're better off just saving some money aside and upgrading your setup. It's going to be a better experience overall than trying to push things to the limit and ultimately wearing it all out way quicker than you would do, and potentially running into some potentially serious degradation problems like Intel have faced. Even though the CPU show at the moment is solely on Intel, AMD is not immune to it. Make sure you run your Windows updates is the big takeaway there. If you've got an AMD CPU.
So yeah, to go through it, the Ryzen CPU owners can now download a better gaming performance thanks to a Windows 11. This is Windows 11, by the way, everybody. A Windows 11 update. Microsoft's latest KB 50.41.58.7 update includes AMD specific performance improvements. So that's what you're looking out for. As soon as that became, you could technically go into it in like beta. You could apply to the Windows update betas and get it early, but I waited for the actual full release. and it's out now. And it mainly is going to help the 7000 series plus, but there is, marginal on the 5000 series mainly because of some old architecture changeable stuff.
If you're just gaming, you may not even notice much of a tweak, but it's basically if you're ever going, I don't feel like I'm getting the full efficiency out of my CPU. Maybe if you're doing heavy workloads, editing, renders, things like that, it might shave off a few minutes off your render times and things like that. And, it's now going to run at full efficiencies for you.
Or if you play CK3, which tries to claim as much CPU usage as it possibly can.
It will eat everything that you give it.
It's ridiculous. I don't
also,
understand.
to kind of come back to the whole argument, just the whole debate of like CPU or GPU, get yourself a really expensive Nvidia 4090 and then you've got dual encoding.
One day.
Just wait till we see what the 50 series are going to do, though, because I fully expect to see. I mean, I don't necessarily see it cascading all the way down the lineup, but I will be surprised if the 5080 doesn't also have dual encoding.
I will not be surprised if we see a 50 series delay, however, with what's been going on recently with Nvidia getting that
their stock dropped like 10%, I think.
Yeah, huge drop. And it's mainly because
I just need to go buy some shares because while it's on the down low, it's going to go back up. Like
Los Federales are poking around Nvidia right now for
maybe wait a little bit longer for it to drop even further. I mean, I am not an investor.
I'm not an investor, but if there was one stock I wanted to own, it was Nvidia about 2 years ago.
I'm gonna watch that.
Time traveling me. If that ever happens, the thing that I will tell you to buy is Nvidia stock. But yeah, no, I don't think it'll be too much. But I think it's
going to level out.
If there's enough. Just generally, I mean, Nvidia isn't going to be a dying company anytime soon. There's still up.
Their AI advancements alone are going to have them sorted.
Yeah, they're up like 50%, but I think there might be enough of a slowdown on production. Plus, there's also there's another silicon chip shortage, I think. I think we'll see 50 series in 2025 now. I don't think it'll... Or we might see a Founders Edition card come out maybe December. Yeah,
maybe though, because actually they've started kicking out the XX90 class earlier. They used to send it out after the XX80 had gone out. So like a 4080, 3080. That used to be the flagship they'd lead because that was the top end gaming card, and like the XX90 variant came out of the Titan series. It's still a gaming card, but it's like those that want that hybrid between ultimate gaming performance and 3D modeling, rendering, editing, full workload stuff. Basically also because then if we refine enough silicon and it performs better, we can then do a new Titan variant on top of that if we ever want to, or if we have our Quadro series kick out some insane, really good bin bits of silicon that don't quite meet Quadro stuff, or we can't use it for that, we can rebin this as something else. It leaves the door open for them, which is smart.
I'm waiting for a 4095 or a 5095, like... So the 5090, the 5095X.
5090 Ti.
The 5090 Ti X3D.
I think if we do see a 50 series, they'll make that decision either to go with, if they've got enough stable silicon for a 5090, they'll kick that out. Or maybe they'll even consider a 5080 if it's just the next bit down. It depends what starts coming out and is what's stable and what's in mass producible amounts for them to do. And also, when they can get that, it may well be actually that we see a bigger lead time between their Founders Edition coming out and when the third party...
That's the thing I'm thinking.
MSI, Gigabyte, Asus, etc. Whenever they start being able to... They may not be able to release theirs until end of January, February, because they'll need that time to work on stuff and to do their own...
Testing, cooling.
Third-party coolers and everything else. But I think, it'd be nice if it's this side of Christmas. Ultimately, if it's into next year, that's fine.
I'd rather they take time on it.
Definitely. We've had enough instabilities with hardware this year.
With how their market is going right now and how many eyes are on them, they kind of have to get it up, which is another reason. I don't necessarily think the federal government getting involved with Nvidia is going to stop their production in any way.
They need a solid, robust launch and release.
I think it's more looking at the PR of it. That's where my head goes. I'm not saying that there's going to be some FBI agent in bursting down a factory door going, stop production.
Don't take my 4090 away.
Yeah, stop production. And it's just like loads of people just, no, I think it's going to be a case of they go, ooh.
It's going to be a black market for 5090 cards.
Our stock price right now is like, we can't take a failed hit. Therefore, let's push back.
So they know if they're going to have a rough bit of stock for a couple of months, they know that they need their main surge point for their stock to rise again to be the launch of the 50 series. They need that to be golden. So they'll delay and then they'll have a huge surge, and then I'll cry even more that I don't have Nvidia stock.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just how that comes down to.
Yeah, basically. I'm just going to weep over my 4090. No.
Some other little tech pieces, though, that came out is the Rodecaster 2, the mixer that I use, that I really like, but I haven't had as easy a user experience as, say, my Go XLR is. It's now out in white. They also do a new white low-profile boom arm that goes with it, and also I think they released one of their microphones in white as well.
You know what? It's really nice to see Elgato getting some solid competition. The likes of Rode and stuff that have focused on high-end mixers and high-end audio gear, whereas Elgato's obviously focused on the streamer, which is not to say the streamer stuff isn't high-end, but obviously it's not going to be quite at the higher end side of it because they want to sell more stock and stuff like that, right? But it's nice now seeing that other places like Rode, other companies like Rode go, yeah, we can actually put in a new mid-range product line of stuff, and we can actually target streamers directly rather than just pro audio enthusiasts, because funnily enough, we've now got this whole new generation of audio enthusiasts, which are streamers
or podcasters
that aren't necessarily looking for the top end massive rigs or huge audio decks. They want something a little bit more manageable, and we can still funnel our high-end tech into some smaller packages that's going to work really well at more affordable price points for this ever-growing market, basically. It's a huge win for them, and it's also a huge win for the wider community because it forces the likes of Elgato that have largely still got a fairly iron grip over the streaming community in terms of peripherals and hardware and stuff like that to use. And that's not through them necessarily being nefarious about it. They've made some good quality stuff, and they've been the market leader in that. And they continue to be for now, but it's good to see them be challenged and push them to innovate in other areas as well.
The smaller Duo version, the 2-input interface one, is also available in white. And I think one of the other things is they're realizing with podcasts, with visual formats, etc., they need something that looks good on camera, that looks good on someone's desk, that can actually be featured in the video shot because it's product placement at the same time.
Product aesthetics are now huge because of streamers, because more and more are showing off their setups, and they don't want a rough looking blocky mixer. They want something that looks sleek and elegant. It's just about as much function as it is form now. Like, it's got to function really well, and it's got to have, and you can't have a too oversimplified mixer, because then you'll have people going, well, I want these advanced features as well. Where are these? So you've got to have all that high-end advanced options in a sleek form factor that looks appealing when it may show up on camera or in setup shots.
Yeah, they've called it the White Collection. It is the Rodecaster Duo, the Pod Mic, the NTH100, which I think is a headset.
A White Collection. That feels like it's like a fashion event.
And the Rodecaster Pro 2. And also the boom arm. I have to say, the grouping together look pretty hot. Like, if I hadn't gone for a dark, cozy themed office and I was still on my white PC build.
Time for a new setup!
Yeah, it would be. Damn it! I wish I had that service of just being able to like interior design people's office spaces. That would be cool. You said about that yourself.
Oh, could we design streamer setups? Is that
that would be a cool YouTube channel, to be fair, like running that as a business.
But we could do it in like a DIY SOS style of just like, we've got 2 days to do it, go.
Actually, didn't Linus Tech Tips do that as videos?
I think so, but also that has like weird Linus energy.
Didn't he have it for Call Me Chris? Didn't he build her setup?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, my God.
I know that TechSource as well does subscriber makeover, where he'll go and completely rebuild and do their dream setups.
If we ever got to that sort of level.
Or like setup wars and stuff. That'd be so much fun.
It would be. I just want to just sit there and go like, yeah, you want this microphone set up, but you also want this paint scheme to match. Like,
they'd be like, so what did you spend the most time with? Well, we spent an uncomfortable amount of time on wood veneer hub.
Yeah, picking wood panels.
We're picking wood panels.
Yeah. I've actually, I can't wait till I've got a little rug coming in, and it's dark green to match the walls, but it's got like little diamonds of brown in it, so it also matches the wood. It's gonna interior, because I have a really shitty carpet in this office.
We have infinite alternative
passions
and like just, I don't know, revenue avenues that we could explore.
I'm a kid that grew up on DIY SOS, Ground Force.
We could be the Ground Force the Ground Force PC special. Yes, we need the same music and effects.
I'd love a BBC
Little
series
tornado.
that was specifically that. That'd be the most like millennial version.
Which character from Ground Force are you? Are you Titchmarsh, Charlie, or Tommy?
Probably Charlie.
I think I'm Titmarsh.
I don't have the manual labor skill to be.
I'd get like, we need a big burly Tommy to just be like, where do you need some shelving and some desk space?
Yeah. Well, I'm there picking paint.
They always needed Tommy for the decking. Yeah, you're picking the paint and that, and I'm getting all the hardware and squirreling it away. Like, this rhododendron PC case is.
Oh no! Oh dear!
Oh god! Yeah, who wants to be the Tommy for our applications are open at hello@uploadpodcast.co.uk. This is going to be really telling. One, if we get anyone commenting on this segment, but also if we do, we know your generation. If you know who and what we're talking about. I was just thinking, Chelsea Flower Show. We build a garden out of PC components.
It's got to have been done, surely.
Tech meets agricultural. Because if not, I feel like we launch our Ground Force PC building team there. Like, just people will be like, "What? This is the most random thing."
Oh my god! Because if you're implementing outdoor offices like you are, where it's in a garage or like a pop-up thing, you could do the garden around it as part of the show. So it's as a concept for the TV show. So you get the old Ground Force, like Gardener's World, all of those kind of, my mother watching, but also, something for the tech lad.
My mum is very proud of me right now, thinking, my son, he's the...
He's talking about the Chelsea Flower Show.
He's the Ground Force of PC builders.
Oh, no. BBC, ITV, anyone want to take the show?
Have you met his business partner? He's the Charlie of water features, of water cooling. There we go. Water cooling Charlie.
Water cooling. Oh, water cooling. Wait, could you tie water cooling to like an outdoor water feature as well?
Oh, you'd have to filter the crap out of that and like not make sure like that feels like Linus Tech Tips energy of can we call a PC from an outdoor pond?
Well, no, not even an outdoor pond, but I'm saying like you have like a sculpture outside that is like running water through it. It can be still a closed thing, but use it as like a tank.
We could do external loop out the back of the PC. Loop out then the wall of the office space, running into a statue. It runs through that. You could have the coolant color going through it, and it's all self-sealed and contained, and then it runs back in again. Okay, coming to a Chelsea Flower Show near you.
Oh my god, can you? I don't even know how you
get here.
That.
Like, I don't know how we got
I don't
here.
know. We got on talking new fun tech things that are coming up.
Yeah, I think I mentioned the wood vinyl panels, and then we went into grand design /
There's a good subset of the UK population that also grew up on design shows and gardening shows.
It's a guilty pleasure.
It was also one of the things that was kind of one of the only things on between like 7 and 9 p.m. on UK TV for a little while. And each channel had its own variant. And back then, not everybody had Sky.
And endless reruns of the Antiques Roadshow.
Oh my God. Or I call it Nick in the Night. Or nicking the clock, depending the period. Because the intro with the thing in the clock or the night in the background, it looks like they're nicking it. So
yeah.
It looks like
you've just slung probably a priceless grandfather clock
in the back
in your soft top.
In your thousands upon thousands of pounds soft top car.
Although, also that is us when we are like in 30, 40 years time. We're taking our. I've got a Ryzen 3700X and an AM4 motherboard.
I found this antique Corsair 560.
And here is the prize of my collection: A 980 Ti.
On to more tech developments. Those little camera things. Let's move on to those. Who are they by?
Is it OBSBOT?
Oh, they're more OBSBOT stuff.
OBSBOT.
I think they are OBSBOT. I love this company. They have some really, really innovative camera tech, and these things. So they've got these new like pocket square sides. They're almost. Do you know what they look like? This is gonna be a really weird thing to connect them to, but they kind of look like security guard or police like cameras that they put on their vests. They're about that size.
Yeah, the little like clip on. Yeah, they're small. You know what? I've just seen I'm on the product page, and one of the big things they're pushing is it's got AI auto framing, and the shot they've got is of people doing a podcast. So I'm thinking, I'll pick some up that we can use when we do our in-person one in the new office space.
Oh, you're actually going to buy these?
I think I'll get some. Yeah,
they're basically a webcam company that innovates with AI to be able to follow you. So quite a lot of their webcams are on like little plates, which they're essentially moving heads. But they've just released the OBSBOT Meet 2, which is a smaller webcam. Oh my God, they're only £109 each.
Yeah, they're affordable.
They come in white, grey, and green. Oh, there's green. 4K at 30 or 1080 at 60. 1080 60 is kind of all you need as a stream. And they all run off USB-C. Oh my God. And they've got a magnetic mount.
Total tangent. I wanted to do some more cooking streams, and I'm just thinking that Tiny 2 that follows you around and moves is going to be so perfect for that.
I wish I ate like a normal human being because, one, I like cooking. Two, we have a very, very nice kitchen in this house with a big old center island and like a really good lighting in that room. Putting a moving head camera on it would look... it would look like a TV cooking show. It would look like an episode of Ready Steady Cook, like, or something along, or like what's her name? With the crispy roast potatoes,
with the absolutely massive personality.
Nigella.
That's the one. That's what triggered it for you. I'm sorry. We are base men. We are sorry. That's what triggered it.
I didn't pick it up off your trigger. I will say I was working through it. I was going off of her Christmas episodes where she was talking about making roast potatoes. That will always just stick in my brain. Again, UK cooking shows is the other thing. So like Jamie Oliver, where it's like nice environment, single camera. That's my brain is now going, I want to run a cooking show, and I can't. I don't eat food, so
we can make something Midge appropriate when you come down to do the podcast. We can film a. What's your favorite food? What, like, if you had to eat something?
I mean, the thing that I always go to is because my whole channel branding is around French toast. So I'm making
make some French toast.
That'll be a quick and easy thing.
We'll make some French toast. There we go.
Wait, I'm just looking at all of their cameras. So OBSBOT is an interesting company, and I would.
Which one of us is Nigella though?
I don't know, actually.
We'll let the editors decide.
This is a company that has been innovating. I don't know who their background is, if they've got any. I really want to look into if they're powered by like a different company in some way. Their camera technology has been excellent. They make a lot of small form factor but very powerful cameras. Sorry, I said form factor and my brain links PC there. They also do some larger ones like the OBSBOT. The first one they put out was essentially a full-size moving head camera, which are really cool. But they also have I saw it before, I don't know if it's that new, but they have like a USB-C hub that is like a camera control hub. So it only requires one USB-C port on your PC, but you can USB-C multiple cameras into it and control them individually. It's like a little computerized port.
I've just realized that Meet 2 also comes in white.
Yeah, it does.
I've basically got to get it now, haven't I? Pop them around. Good thing is also I've always wanted to do have a setup shot that you can just mount to corner of a room, looking at the rest of the setup or whatever, and flip to it. Oh, they look really good. They look really good.
They're definitely one to watch. I would say if you're looking to get a starter webcam, I don't know the full specifications on some of this, like the Meet 2, etc. But my brain goes, I've seen stuff this company's put out before, and the quality's always been excellent.
I've just had a look at their company about page. So they founded in 2016. The awards they won Time's Best Innovation of 2019 for I think the original Tiny Cam. that moves and tracks. They've won CNET Best of 2024, 2023 awards, Edison Awards.
As a company, I think initially their whole scope was to sell to industry solutions and be a moving camera to put like the moving camera in an office, in a meeting. So people could, have one camera in the office that would just point at different various points of the meeting table for like a Zoom meeting. That was like where they put it all. And then streaming has picked up and they're going, we have the solution. And they've found a really good space in here.
They have teamed up with the advanced live streaming analytics platform streamcharts to launch an exclusive creator program for Twitch and Kick streamers.
Yeah, they have this all-in-one like live streaming like hub computer things.
Yeah, I've just seen that. Is that multiple HDMI ins?
It's got battery charged. Yeah, it's multiple. It's also USB-C for all of their things. It's HDMI's in.
How does that? So it's got its own dedicated. That's how it doesn't, and its own board, so it doesn't overload your PC.
Yeah, and it has a hot swappable battery charger.
Oh my god, this. Does it have multiple outs though? Like
it has one USB-C out, but it also has a net, which means you could use it in NEI.
Oh, so you could stream wirelessly the feed somewhere.
Yeah, which means technically you can have that. Sorry, not NEI, NDI. NDI.
One feed out via the USB and one out via the NDI. Yeah. So
technically you could have it downstairs, NDI it into your router, and have the stream going out of your streaming PC.
Oh my god! If you go down on the talent page all the way to the bottom, they've got a really cool diagram about all the different ways you can connect it up and how you can run it through stuff. Damn, that's impressive. Might be preemptive, but this looks like the ultimate dual PC. This is what I was missing when I was trying to do dual PC stuff and trying to duplicate stuff, because the problem is you lose the sync of stuff when you start sending. If you have it all going into this hub that then sends it out, that keeps it all synced up.
Oh yeah, you just needed an ATOM board. To be fair, like Blackmagic, as in Blackmagic Design that make cameras and stuff, they do mini ATOM boards as well, which is like, for those of you who don't know, we've spoken about ATOM before, which is a company that makes streaming stuff, but they take their name from a video production tool called an ATOM.
This is an ATOM board essentially, but like a box, an ATOM box.
This is what this is, but this is like a touchscreen ATOM board is exactly what these are. ATOM boards are what people in broadcast use to live switch different camera feeds and stuff. It's like an audio mixer, but for cameras. That's what an ATOM board is. Blackmagic Design do some really cool small ones, which are also a little bit like GoXLRs for cameras as well. You can have programmable buttons, etc. They have like a bit of a Stream Deck thing going on. Technically, the Stream Deck is a button press version of an ATOM board as well in various ways. But yeah, this is really... Oh god, I've just planned some really cool things my company could do with this as well if I ever do any more live events.
Well, I'm just adding this into the list of things I need to buy for the new office. You know what? This will essentially be, we'll do the podcast, but it's also going to be like, Midge, come play with the new toys I bought.
Oh yeah, no, that's going to be, yeah, we're going to book out an hour to do a podcast, and then the next like 6 are just going to be probably co-streaming a stream from your new office, most likely, playing with toys and just talking stuff.
Right, where do they have a contact?
There's an onboard sound mixer on this little ATOM as well.
Oh my, yeah, because it has out, yeah. Oh my days. Oh, and yeah, because the GoXLR, I could actually feed the audio out via the light. Yeah, ooh. Oh, and you can bring the Meet series cameras in via the USB-A onto the along with HDMI. Oh, multiple cameras all in one.
Yeah, I knew that this was the thing that you could essentially hub all the cameras and then control them in one place. I didn't realize they had so many controllers. I love that it also has a mount. So in a video TV production scenario, you could mount this on the same like shoulder rig, etc., of a tripod mount of where a central camera is, and have the other camera feeds, so you could single DOP or direct in a single This is just a very lightweight film production quality setup.
I'm just imagining the possibilities of just having like 2 of these, how that would transform whole setups. Imagine if you had a couple of these for your production bits.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be...
This replaces so much gear.
Yeah. That's where my brain's going, and I'm like...
You're like, Dan, you actually only have to carry one massive bag now. It's actually have 2 of these in your pocket. We're sorted, basically. Just bring a load of wires.
Oh my God. Instead of being one suit to have 2 massive flight security cases, I could hand luggage half of this.
Oh my God. I'm looking at that. The partnership they've got with streamcharts. That's looking really cool with all the data they've got on there.
Oh, really? Can you link me? Sorry for everyone listening to the podcast as we just deep dive into OBSBOT as a product. And I know we're doing this live, and you can just hear this is how we get when we find certain tech. And this was always going to be a tech episode.
What is the pricing
of what?
So there is a pricing on the Steam charts, but I'm looking at it. It's going to participate in the program. Streamers must meet the following criteria: eligibility.
Oh yeah, what are the eligibility criteria? Just read that out. Read it. But also, the OBS talent, for everybody wondering, is currently retailing at 929 UK pounds.
How much is it?
929 UK pounds.
Oh Christ, I did not see how much that was.
But to be fair, for an ATOM machine, they normally start at about 500. Going upwards, and a professional ATOM in a recording studio or a TV studio is upwards of like
I hadn't even clocked how much it was.
30k. So even so, my brain's still like, oh, this is still worth it.
They've got a studio combo pack of 1 talent, 3 TailAIRs, which can beam their signal via NDI to the talent, and 1 TailAIR. That would be mad.
To be fair, I looked at TailAIRs for example, if I did Grandest LAN again, I had already marked out some OBSBOT stuff in my plan, but the idea would be, because they have multiple rooms at the venue, I would have an NDI OBSBOT TailAIR in each of the rooms so that you could live feed to the reaction of the room if like a war was declared by certain players, if there was cheering or whatever. Good to see that a company like that is teaming up with other useful things in the industry to try and get its name out. That's like, again, we've spoken about this company being very innovative. And one of the things they seem to be doing as well is nurturing the space, which you don't see people like Rode do. I mean, yes, GoXLR tried to do some certain things, and that's TC Helicon that made that originally. It's still not as direct about it. OBSBOT, I'm going to be one to watch. Again, I feel like they are one of those companies that might come out with their own studio at one point, their own version of OBS. I definitely can see that would be a company like that would do, just considering how innovative they have been with elements and their cameras, etc., how many awards they've won. They understand that innovating within the space is going to be the thing that gets their name out there. And hey, look, we're talking about it on the podcast right now. That's their marketing done. Like it's an excellent move. And I wish more companies in the creator space looked to innovate more. It's the thing that I think we complain about most, is that there's a sincere lack of innovation in the space. Anyway, is there any slightly losing my voice, any other tech that's come across your radar recently, or any developments in the space?
I think that was my main thing of like the Meet 2.
So let's move on to our other topic for today, which is you went away.
I did go away.
How was your trip?
It was good. I had a lovely time in Sweden, in Stockholm. Yeah. Apart from having to wait quite a while to get passport checked and then a mad rush when they opened up all the kiosks. Yes, I mean, so I've been to Stockholm a few times. I haven't been for a couple of years because COVID. So it's my first time post-COVID. And children, yeah, and children. But yeah, it was really good. It was the kind of the main takeaways. So got invited out by Paradox to take a look at some Crusader Kings 3 stuff, notably the Roads to Power DLC, which will most likely be out by the time this comes out. The other stuff we got to see was basically some stuff that they're planning and working on currently for next year. Now, I can't say anything about what that is. I am allowed to say that I am very excited for it and cannot wait to see more of it. That's the worst thing about these events. You come away wanting to dive into what you've seen and you can't. Basically, I think the future is very, very bright based on what we saw. Exciting times are 100% ahead. And yeah, when I can say anything substantial or more or specific, I will. It was really good though, because it got kind of face-to-face time chatting to some devs, met some of the amazing UI artists that work on Crusader Kings 3, and their work just I think, you know, obviously everyone that's kind of worked on CK3 has elevated the series and driven it forward in some way or another. But I think one of the biggest things is the UI and UX improvements for CK3 over, say, CK2. It's transformed it from a tech, I mean, it's still a very text heavy game anyway, but it's a far more accessible, approachable. And there's so many people that I've seen have said that just the quality of life improvements and just the accessibility, and a lot of that comes down to the UI changes. So I spent a lot of time just kind of worshipping the UI designers that I was chatting to, because I was like, your work, honestly, I mean, I'd like to think it isn't understated, but I feel like potentially it probably is by a lot of people that don't necessarily spend time. I was like, no, thank you so much for all you've done, because even just these subtle changes to trait design and little buttons and menus, that makes such a huge difference. So yeah, I mean, they were so humble, and they were like saying how they were fans of my content, which is very humbling for me. I was just like, one or two of them were like, oh yeah, I watch your series quite regularly. And I was like, I so appreciate that. That's incredible. But I was like, thank you for what you've done, because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing without you guys. So yeah, had chats with some of the devs there, and yeah, it's wonderful to get that kind of direct time to chat and to talk about stuff. Had a medieval feast as well while I was there, which was great. I ate beaver.
You ate beaver?
I ate beaver. Yeah, that was on the medieval feast.
Nobody clipped that one out of context.
Oh God, no. Yes, I very much enjoyed the Swedish beaver.
No. The wild animal. The wild animal.
I ate some.
That's such an Austin Powers joke.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
While at the medieval feast, I ate some of the wild animal beaver. Quite tasty.
So you had exotic food.
They had two little Crusader Kings 3 themed knights jousting on top of pigs. Of like that we ate as well.
Oh, like I thought you meant like they just, in wherever you were having this feast, they just dressed up to there was a joust.
Started jousting. No, there was a guy dressed in full armor outside the restaurant where we went down into. They sold some excellent mead as well. Oh, so good. That was a really fun event. Really nice and themed to have a bit of fun as well as business. Obviously, it was a great time to kind of network and chat with a load of other creators. I had a chance to chat with a few other Grand Strategy, Paradox creators and CK3 gamers that I haven't met all of them before. I kind of knew a few of them, but this was a good chance to actually I didn't actually get a chance to chat to a few of them anywhere near as much. I find that always happens though. You kind of end up squirreling away talking to a couple of creators either that you know or you don't know, and you struck up. And I was like, oh, there's like 2 or 3 other guys that I really want to have some chats with. So hopefully, Paradox, please invite me to more events, because I need to network and chat to more of the fellow creators.
The amount of FOMO I had being sat and I used the time well and I made some good videos, but like seeing you, seeing Lath, seeing everybody going out and just being like, nope. I'm at home right now making CK3 videos instead.
They said I could take my partner with me next time. So like, I mean, you're my work wife, so
it's fine. It's one of those things of as well, because I sit in a weird space where I'm both a creator but also kind of staff. It with Paradox is one of those things I'm understanding of it, but it doesn't help the jealousy. I do get a little bit jealous.
I was so jealous when I saw some of the creators talk about the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 event that they did, and I was like, I know I haven't really played too much in that genre, but I enjoyed Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, and I played a lot of Bannerlord, and that's kind of similar-ish, right? Let me come with you.
I've streamed 2 full playthroughs of Kingdom Come Deliverance. 1, can I come with my feeble views? No, that looks amazing.
I love medieval stuff.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it looks so good.
In-person events. For us, it is certainly a perk of the job, but it's really nice to see those set pieces of marketing kind of come together to really push and promote a game. It's not about paying off creators or anything like that, or okay, sure, there's probably a small element of that within the marketing. Well, if we treat them nice and we take them out on a fancy event, maybe they'll be more inclined to cover it and give us positive stuff. That's not my takeaway when I'm looking at those sort of things. I'm like, I get excited because I know I get to network with other creators and I get to talk to devs that make the games that I'm passionate about, and I get to ask them questions. For me as a medieval history nerd as well, like, cool, I get to go to to these medieval historical locations or something like that. Or, I get to experience some medieval themed event stuff. Those events I really hope, and we started seeing more of them now. I think it's interesting to see marketing campaigns and PR campaigns change, because we are now starting to see some bigger events and smaller ones in between become in person again versus digital. I don't think the digital ones are going anywhere. I think a lot of what is being used for digital is it's specifically a program called Parsec, which is essentially allows you to dial in to another PC. I'm pretty sure all the major game studios use this one company to run all of their Parsec sessions through, because it was pretty much the same team, I think, over and over again. You do a digital event, you go into like a Discord waiting room or something like that, and you'll watch a presentation on a game like you would do if you were flown out somewhere. You'd go in, you'd watch a presentation on what you're going to play, and you then have like an hour or two to play through some of the game, but you're playing it remotely, dialing in to another PC. That certainly has its place, specifically when you just want like some initial impressions and feedback for early events. But I think perhaps some of the later stage marketing, or some of the bits along the way that are now like, let's do some bigger marketing, let's have some creators out, let's do some themed events, those bits are coming back, because essentially all of those just completely shut down with COVID. They're starting to come back, as I think marketing campaigns are starting to spool up a little bit more. And yeah, okay, outside perspective looking in, most people are going to be like, that seems like a waste of money. You're just flying creators around. I mean, I don't even think perhaps I mean, for the PR side, I think they're looking at it going like, we want to put on a good event that markets the game, promotes it a little bit. For creators, I don't even think most of us are going in for that kind of thing. We're not going for the promotion. We're going for the networking and for the one-on-one time with devs and the experience behind it all.
Liken it to anything else out there for any other industries. It's like a business conference. It's a conference for us. If the conference is spectacular for the company, good. That looks good on socials. That's good marketing beats. But the other thing, and I think companies need to keep this in mind more on why in-person creative events are good for this, is if you get loads of like-minded creators into a room, let them talk, let them network, and feel like they're not pressured to be totally always focused on what you're putting out, you're probably more likely to get them collaborating on content about the game that they're there for right now, because you're all seeing the same stuff at the same time. You're going, oh, that'd be a really good idea. Why don't we do something together with this? Like, yeah, exactly.
Why don't we get together and do the thing? Yeah.
Part of the goal is to make the content creators, I would argue, give them that space to just exist and connect like that, because it will probably do you better in the long run. Paradox is actually really good at this.
They're really good at fostering their creator communities as much as their wider community as well. And it's some, like, I think, for me, with all the companies I've worked with, Paradox are the leaders in this. Creative Assembly used to be really good at doing very creator-driven events and kind of meetups and things like that. And it was hugely healthy for the creator side of things to meet up. But obviously that's kind of fallen away. And I think it will be a long time before they kind of get things back together. I don't know if it'll ever be how it was, to be honest.
They have some bigger problems that they need to deal with first.
They've lost a lot of the personal kind of touch, because and especially now with lack of staff, basically. Paradox have always been very good. I mean, there are always some companies within the industry that will take advantage and will try and use these events to incentivize creators in certain directions. And a bigger, probably wider problem is that the wider community often sees these sorts of events with creators going to it thinking that they've been bought and paid for with that. And that's, you have to look at that on an individual creator, and you have to, look at what they've done before and, what values that they're pushing forward and standing for and things like that. We can all stand here as much as we want and say, I'm not bought out, I'm not paid for, but that's, I guess, up to the viewers to go, well, is that true or not, based on stuff we've done before and what we're actually saying. I'm not. I don't take payment all these trips as ways to influence my my thoughts and opinions of it. Does it have some element in the background that might influence me unintentionally? Yeah, maybe. But I'll always try and share my honest, frank opinions about something, and then I guess it's up to you guys to how you want to act on that and how you want to take that information. But I like to think as well that hopefully it's never a surprise that I'm often closely partnered or I've gone on trips and events with companies. Like I'm always saying, hey, I've done this or I've done that, or this is sponsored, or, keeping well within the regulations that you need to. I mean, obviously, again, there are companies and some creators that skirt around those. And that is really disappointing because that makes a far bigger negative impact than all the creators doing things correctly and properly.
How was it like taking a break from being away from the kids and going on a business thing? Because this is the first time since having 2 kids doing a business trip thing. Like, where was there any extra stress there?
Once I was on it, I was fine, because it was quite a busy schedule of stuff going on. There wasn't really any kind of downtime, which is fine. Again, no downtime on a business trip. That's fine. There were some more relaxed parts of it, like the medieval feast and stuff, and then there were obviously some more focused parts where we were at the studio, at the offices, seeing stuff and talking through various bits and pieces.
Did they have you in the library at the top?
Right at the top, yeah. That's a really nice space. The biggest stress was that week because I flew on the Thursday morning, so I knew I was only working Monday to Wednesday. I was up till 1 a.m. on the Monday and Tuesday nights, getting a week's worth of 7 days worth of content done in 3 days, basically. So that wasn't fun. But also every evening when I'd have time away from work, when I was cooking dinner or just seeing the wife and the kids for a bit, that time really, I felt really stressful in terms of, I was like, oh, I don't feel excited to go. That's where I think, the whole kind of having kids, fatherhood and parenthood and everything, that's where it hits you a bit more. I think it's also, I can see my wife struggling with 2, just with me in my limited support when I'm working most of the day anyway, and then, coming down the evenings and helping out then. I can see how much she struggles then, and I'm like, I'm leaving you, to go off on work. I know, it has to be done. It's part of the job. But, there's times where I was very frank when I got the invitation. I said, look, you let me know if you think I know you're capable, but if you think you're up for it for 3 nights without me, great, amazing. But if you'd rather I didn't, it's fine. It's not the be all and end all of everything. I'd love to go, I really would, but this is more important. But she's always been incredibly supportive, even at her own detriment, bless her. And thankfully we have family close by, so they came and stayed a couple of nights to help her out. Anyway, it's a whirlwind of emotion. I don't think I necessarily, especially with the kids and knowing I go away, I don't think I necessarily look forward to the events as much. When I'm on the events though, amazing, great. Obviously, though, please do invite me to your events because I'd love to come.
It's just there's that added pressure now.
Yeah, it's the added stress and prep beforehand, because also I'm like, oh, I want to try and carve out some time that I know I don't have to have a little bit of quality time with the kids before I go, and also with my wife.
Whereas me, if you wanted to invite me out to TwitchCon, LA, is it San Diego this year? If you wanted to invite me out the day before, I'd get on a plane. I get the email and be like, oh god, no. The main reason I ask as well is because I know a lot of your audience, and probably some of our audience listening are parents themselves and also trying to content create. So there is that aspect, and there's another. It's just the wider thing to talk about on that. It's
really hard finding time that doesn't exist and finding a balance to it where you're you want to be present, you want to be, and I think as a generational thing, certainly my generation and yours and the one around immediately around it in close proximity, we're often far more hands-on than the generations that have come before, and we want to be as involved as possible. But the stresses of needing to provide for your family and everything else haven't gone away. They haven't disappeared. If anything, they've intensified. So it is a nearly impossible juggling act, and all we can ever do is just try our best. Basically, sometimes we'll get it right, sometimes we'll get it wrong, and that's I think is a bigger part of it, and acknowledging that than anything else. Sometimes we'll get that balance right. Probably more often than not, we'll get the balance wrong, to be honest. Probably more times where you get the balance wrong than you get it right. I guess it's making sure that those times where you do get it right, you really get it right. I say I couldn't do what I do without the support of my family, and especially my wife just being incredible. Honestly, I don't know. She's the strongest person I know, and I don't know how she does it, to be honest. I really would like to know what.
I mean, yeah,
source of
share some of the power.
power.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
reaching
please.
on power sharing, please, to bring this back to Seek.
Yes, please. Yeah. No, you can have it as an entrenched regency. It's fine.
I'm glad that like it was impactful still, like, and it's a new challenge, obviously going away and having that aspect.
It's good to know I can do that as well, and it can work, because that's the biggest thing as well. Looking at going like, oh, are those days behind me? Like, am I going to be? I can't go to events because I just can't make it work with the fact. It's like, okay, I can make it work. It's tough for sure, but it can be done, and that does excite me about future opportunities in the future for sure.
Well, I think that's all we've got time for today. So thank you so much for listening. If you want to get in touch with the podcast, you can do so via our email or the comments. Remember to share all of those good things. But we will catch you next time we upload.